Welcome to this week's Saturday Travel and History Tip. I had said that we would be doing part 6 of our traveling northbound on US Highway 83, the road to nowhere, but I wanted to take a little diversion, and I will get back to those because we will be presenting information from South Dakota and North Dakota. In this past week, we put up 2 nuggets. Those were nuggets 204 and 205, and so I thought it'd be more appropriate to do the Bonneville Salt Flats Saturday Travel and History Tip just behind those 2 nuggets. But I want to start with reading from my book about the Great Salt Lake. It is the centerpiece of the Low Country in Utah, and it includes the Salt Flats extending westward to the Nevada border, and that's where the Bonneville Speedway is. The Great Salt Lake is the centerpiece of the Low Country, which includes miles of salt flats extending westward to the Nevada border. The Great Salt Lake is 1,060,000 acres. It is currently 75 miles long and 28 miles wide, with an average depth of 20 feet, with a maximum depth of about 33 feet. The unusual lake continues to shrink, covering around 2,000 square miles. It is the largest saltwater lake in the Western Hemisphere. Brine shrimp are one of the few organisms to survive the lake's salinity, which ranges from 4 to 28%, as compared to the oceans, which are a mere 3%. I-80 passes along the southern end of the lake, and that's where we will go today in our Saturday Travel and History Tip, to that western end on I-80 and the 2 rest areas that rest in the middle of the Great Salt Lake Desert. If you look at a Rand McNally map, you will see the Great Salt Lake is just northwest of Salt Lake City, Utah. But extending to the west is the Great Salt Lake Desert, where Interstate 80 crosses pretty much in the middle. The Dugway Proving Ground is on the south end, and the Utah Test Range Training Range is also at the Great Salt Lake Desert. We had a great day out at the Bonneville Speedway, and then the following day we drove out on the highway to go to the 2 rest areas to see the Great Salt Lake Desert from that perspective. We were staying in West Wendover, Nevada, so we entered Interstate 80 traveling eastbound and first stopped off at the rest area that is approximately 10 miles east of the state border. There is a ramp to walk out to go up to an overview so you could see the desert, and then they also have a foot washing station for those who want to go walk out on the salt flats and they can rinse their feet before they get back in their car. This sign is posted at both the eastbound and westbound rest areas, and it reads, "Welcome to the Bonneville Salt Flats and Utah's famed measured mile, site of world land speed record runs. Utah's famed measured mile is located approximately 7 miles beyond this marker, well in front of the mountains you see on the horizon. The elevation along the course is approximately 4,218 feet above sea level. The total length of the course that includes the measured mile varies from year to year, but for recent runs it has been laid out in a path 80 feet wide and approximately 10 miles long, with a black reference stripe down the middle. Timing of world land speed record runs is under the jurisdiction of the United States Automobile Club. World land speed record times represent an electronically timed average of 2 runs over the measured mile within 1 hour time period, 1 run in each direction. The first world land speed record on the Bonneville Salt Flats was set on September 3rd, 1935 by Sir Malcolm Campbell. His speed was 301.13 miles per hour. Craig Breedlove holds the honor of being the first man to go faster than 400, 500, and 600 miles per hour. His record of 600.601 miles per hour, set on November 15, 1965, was finally broken on October 23, 1970 by Gary Gabelick. Gabelick's new record is 622.407 miles per hour. Both Gabelick's rocket engine, Blue Flame, and Breedlove's jet-powered Spirit of America were equipped with specially designed inflatable tires, pre-tested to speeds in excess of 800 miles per hour. Interesting sign. Also at the rest area, there was a sign about the first transcontinental telephone line. I don't want to get into that today, but it is very interesting, and we found the exact location of that. And then later that afternoon, we also drove out to Radio Tower Road and were able to take these pictures of the road that goes out to the Speedway and zoom in on some cars and the sign that we had shown you in the nuggets. That was kind of cool. But as I read from my book from other research, I have this information. In 1965, Goldenrod, the Summer Brothers wheel-driven Hemi-engine-powered vehicle, set a long-standing land speed record of 409.277 miles per hour. Their car is in this photo, and it is at the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. And you can see the Eastern edition for the entry on Henry Ford Museum, but we were able to see Goldenrod, which that was really, really cool. That record was beat only by 0.7 of a mile per hour in 1991. The last land speed record set at this historic site of 622 122.407 miles per hour occurred in 1970 by a rocket-powered vehicle. The racing area has shrunk from 15 to 10 miles in length. This is located 67 miles southwest of Salt Lake City. The 800,000-acre Dugway Proving Ground is the U.S.'s primary chemical and biological weapons testing and training site. There is no public admittance because this is part of the vast Utah Test and Training Range, comprising over 19,000 square miles of restricted airspace and 2,675 square miles of land area managed by Hill Air Force Base. Part of the U.S. military jurisdiction includes the historic Wendover Airfield along I-80 in Wendover at the Nevada border, comprised of 1,822,000 acres of desert and salt flats. During World War II, the field was held as the largest bombing and gunnery range in the world. And I'm not going to tell you any more about that because I will be doing a Saturday travel and history tip on this amazing place called Wendover Airfield. You won't want to miss what happened at this base. The Bonneville Speedway Salt Flats area is managed by the Bureau of Land Management. They have a variety of races through mainly the summer and fall months. There are endurance runs, and then in August 8th through 14th is Speed Week. There's a Dusk to Dawn rally. There are motorcycle speed trials. There's a U.S. National Flight Championship, a Bonneville Shootout, and World Finals. This place is still being used for fun events. The day that we were out there were several other fun events going on, and one was this group of people were flying these, I'm not sure what they really were, but they were really cool, and here are a few videos from their time out on the Bonneville Speedway, Bonneville Salt Flats. And as you can see, they were filming something. I don't know if it was a commercial or what, but it was fun to watch these guys over a course of a couple hours. And then there were these girls out there, and they were having a good time. I'm not sure if they were doing some sort of modeling photo shoot or just having a really good time. But they were really sweet because near the end of the day, I was sort of just playing around in the water, and they were packing up, and they saw me, and they hollered at me. They said, "Hey, lady, you want these balloons? We don't need them anymore." And so they gave me the balloons, and we took a few pictures of me with these balloons, and I sent them to a couple of people, and they're texting back, "What's with the balloons?" And I said, "Oh, these girls gave me these balloons." They really add to the pictures. I thought it was really sweet of them to share. As we were leaving, it was like, what am I going to do with these balloons? And another vehicle pulled up with some ladies, and I went running to them. I said, "Hey, girls, you want these balloons?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we saw you with them. We didn't know what was the deal." I said, "Well, some other girls shared them with me, and now I'm going to share them with you." So as we drove away, they were starting to shoot pictures with these balloons. Whether you are traveling down Interstate 80, eastbound or westbound, at the Nevada-Utah border, at a very minimum, pull off at one of the rest areas and gaze across these beautiful salt flats. And if you have some time to spend, take Exit 4 to the Bonneville Speedway. You won't regret it. I do want to encourage you to go back and watch Nuggets 204 and 205 if you have not, and you can see some really fun pictures of us speeding along on the Bonneville Speedway and some beautiful pictures of the sunset here at this magnificent locale that is a great example of Noah's flood. Don't forget to send yourself a postcard. I actually mailed the postcard that was specific to the Bonneville Speedway and neglected to take a picture. But here is a picture of a Utah postcard, and as you can see, there are so many wonderful things to do in this state. I love Utah, as they call it, life elevated. American history. Learn it. Love it. Appreciate it. Don't let them steal our history. Treasure our American history. If you appreciate these travel and history tips and our nuggets, please share them on your social media. Thank you.